Welcome to Evolving Into Her. I'm Ashley Hope, and this is your weekly check-in to get out of your head, into your body, and back into alignment with the version of you who's already living the vision. So grab your favorite cup of tea, settle in, and let's get into the show. Hey friend, welcome back to Evolving Into Her and another Sunday coffee chat. These are becoming my favorite episodes. They just feel so relaxed, so chill. Feels like we're sitting on the couch, catching up, kikiing, talking about life, talking about growth, and just catching up with one another. I am your host, Ashley Hope, aka your big sis, your favorite cousin, your internet bestie. And sister, if you're able to, go ahead and set the tone with me. Light your favorite candle. Put a little lo-fi music on in the background, something warm and soft to help you focus. I love lo-fi music. And then take a breath that actually expands your belly and your diaphragm. You know, as women, we're so used to holding our belly button to our spine and having our core restricted. Allow yourself to take a deep breath and expand your belly. It almost feels unnatural when you do that, but it is so good for you. All right, so today we're going to slow the pace down a little bit. We're going to really take our time with this reflection. Today we're having a little journaling session, a little mini end of the year workshop, a moment to see yourself clearly before you step into your next season, before you step into 2026. And the goal today isn't to review your year from a place of pressure or perfection or judgment. We're simply just checking in, okay? We're checking in with the woman you've been becoming, sometimes even without realizing it. So you're going to give yourself some credit, girl. You're going to pat yourself on the back. You're going to give yourself some acknowledgement. You're going to celebrate yourself. I'm going to guide you through a 5-part reflection, and each part has 2 questions. So yes, 10 questions total. And so you can approach this in a few different ways. You can answer them as we go and just press pause on the track when you need to journal out the answers. Or you can take your time and sit with these later. And I'll put all 10 questions in the show notes so you can copy and paste them and reflect on them later. And if you want to go even deeper, you can stretch this over the next 5 days and answer 2 prompts a day and really give yourself the space to sit with these questions. And you know, sometimes the truth hits different when you take it slow and you really let yourself feel into each one instead of rushing through the questions. And remember, you can always answer in your voice notes if journaling isn't your thing. No judgment. This is totally up to you. So today we're taking a moment to just slow down and really see yourself, and not through the lens of goals and achievements, accomplishments, external outcomes. All of that is great. But today we're going to sit through the internal shifts that shaped you this year, the way you moved, the way you changed, the way you navigated, the way you softened, the way you clarified, the way you expanded, the way you evolved, even in ways you may not have fully even acknowledged yet. So, sister, grab your handy dandy notebook, okay? And let's get into part 1. And here we're focusing on what you moved through. And I just want to be blunt here. This year put everybody I know through the ringer. Okay. Hello, somebody. I don't know a single woman who didn't feel stretched in some way. Some of us were stretched emotionally, some spiritually, some of us in our relationships, some of us in our patience. Hello. Some of us in our faith, some of us in our finances, some of us in our plans. And it wasn't necessarily dramatic, like your life wasn't falling apart, but it's the small everyday moments that caught you off guard, right? Where life quietly asked you to show up in a new way, or let go of an old way, or let go of an old acquaintance, an old friend, an old partner, or simply sit with yourself longer than you wanted to. And what's interesting is when you're in the middle of those seasons, you don't always realize how much you're carrying or adjusting. You don't really notice the ways you're growing because you're too close to it. You're in the thick of it. So you're focused on getting through the day, getting through the week, getting through the conversation, getting through the decision, not on, okay, am I evolving right now? Like we're not even thinking about that. So that's why reflection matters. So even if you wish it looked differently, even if you're still learning from it, Reflection lets you see yourself clearly instead of brushing past everything and acting like it was nothing. Because it wasn't nothing, sis. You felt things. You navigated things. You showed up in ways the version of you who entered the year might not have. So before we move into the rest of this journaling session, I want you to just pause and gently acknowledge that there are moments this year that stretched you, moments that shifted you, moments that revealed something, even if you didn't understand it at the time, even if you don't understand it now. And we're not putting pressure on any of it. We're just noticing it, just bringing awareness to it. So your journal prompts for part 1. Number 1 is, where did life invite me to stretch this year? And this could be emotionally, mentally, spiritually, even financially. And number 2, when I look back on those moments now, what stands out about the way I navigated them? And I want you to really take your time with these, let the answers come to the surface naturally. This is your chance to really, witness yourself with compassion instead of judgment, instead of critique, instead of shame. We don't do any of that here. And remember, you can pause as needed, but I'm going to jump into the next part. So part 2 is we're going to talk about what shifted in your heart. We're going to drop out of the head and into the heart real quick, because if there's one thing I've seen over and over this year in myself and my clients and my sisters and my friends and the women around me, it's that our hearts have been shifting in ways we didn't always have language for. So you might have noticed yourself wanting more honesty from yourself or from others. You might have noticed that things don't sit the same in your spirit. They just don't feel right. They don't hit anymore. You might have realized your desires feel different, right? You don't want the same things. Or maybe you recognize that peace matters to you in a new way. So with this section of the journaling session, I would just want to take a moment to honor those subtle internal changes, even the ones you didn't fully understand at the time and you probably still don't understand. That doesn't matter. Just think about the spaces where you felt yourself being more honest, okay? More aware, more open, more discerning, more in tune with what actually feels right for you, what feels aligned for you. So your journal prompts for part 2. Number 1, what did my heart show me that I'm not available for anymore? Ooh, that is a good one. You could talk about experiences, mindsets, habits, people, relationships. What did my heart show me I'm not available for anymore? And prompt number 2, what did my heart show me I'm ready to embody now? Whatever it was, just notice it again, without judgment, without shame, without a critical eye. And remember, you can feel free to pause me as needed. So now, friend, we are going to move into part 3. And here we're talking about where you softened this year, or at least where you wanted to. Both matters. We know softness can look a million different ways depending on who you're talking to. So for one woman, it's letting your guard down just a little. For another, it's finally asking for help, which I know a lot of us struggle with. For someone else, it's choosing rest instead of pushing through like her old self would. For some, softness is just simply feeling something fully, like feeling all the feels instead of pretending that they're fine. And for others, softness is just the desire to not live in tension anymore. So when I think of softness practically, it really shows up in the little micro decisions that say, I don't want to live in survival mode anymore, or I deserve a little tenderness, or I'm open to being held or supported or loved in ways that I wasn't before. And sis, know this, even if softness didn't come naturally for you this year, your mere desire for it says something about your identity. It means that your spirit is craving a new way of being, okay? One that feels less heavy, less guarded, less pressured, less masculine. So I want you to really reflect from that place, okay? So your journal prompts. Number 1, where did I notice myself wanting or choosing a softer version of me this year? So this could be a moment, it could be a feeling, it could even be just an intention. And the second prompt, in what situations did a gentler response from me toward myself or others feel more aligned with who I'm becoming? Again, take your time with these. Feel free to press pause. But now we're going to move into part 4. And here we're going to focus on what you outgrew this year. So when I was coming up with this journaling session, I definitely wanted to cover outgrowing experiences, outgrowing habits, mindsets, people, relationships, because the outgrowing is just a natural part of the becoming. It's necessary. And sometimes, especially with women, I hear a lot of times in conversations, we'll shame ourselves for outgrowing the experiences, the relationships, the people, the jobs, etc., the very things that we prayed for, right? The very things that we enjoyed at one part in our journey. And it's sometimes hard for us to reconcile that. So this part was very, very important for me to cover as we reflect on our year. You know how you can be living your life, doing what you've always done, and then one day you catch yourself thinking, yeah, this doesn't fit me anymore. This doesn't feel aligned anymore. That's what I want you to pay attention to in this part, because outgrowing something or someone, it isn't always a big moment. Sometimes it's just, you feel your energy shifting. You could be in the same space, having the same conversations, doing the same routine, being around the same people, and something in you just feels different. Your spirit doesn't settle there the way it used to. Maybe a habit doesn't feel comforting anymore. Maybe a dynamic that you used to tolerate starts feeling heavier. Maybe your body started reacting differently to certain people. Now you feel anxious when you're around these people. Now you feel tired when you're around certain people, and you just drifted naturally, almost without realizing it. And I want to normalize this. Outgrowing something or someone is a normal part of your becoming. And it's one of the most clearest signs that your identity is shifting. Who you were at the start of the year isn't exactly who you are now. Okay. Your preferences changed, your capacity changed, your mindset changed, your boundaries matured, your vision for your life has sharpened. So, with these prompts, I want you to reflect on what your spirit started releasing on its own. So, prompt number 1: what did I find myself easing away from this year because it didn't match who I'm becoming? And number 2, what version of me did I notice fading out piece by piece as I grew? Again, take your time with this, pause if you need to. And we're going to move into the final set of prompts. And here we're going to talk about who you are becoming. Sis, this is the heart of the entire journaling session, because underneath every reflection we've made, the stretching, the shifts, the softness, the outgrowing, there is a woman emerging under all that. A woman who is more aware of herself, a woman who is more understanding of her needs, a woman who's slowly choosing herself in ways maybe she never did before, a woman who's becoming more intentional, more grounded, more present, more confident in her truth, even as it's unfolding, even though she doesn't have all the answers, even though she doesn't know how this is all going to pan out. Sister, who you became this year is a reflection of your identity shifting. And identity is the foundation of everything. And that's what we're going to focus on in these next few prompts. First prompt: what did this year reveal about the kind of woman I'm growing into, that I'm evolving into? And the second prompt: what feels more true about me now in my identity, my energy, or my self concept than it did at the start of the year? Again, you can pause here if need be. And sister, just take a moment to look over what you wrote or replay in your mind what came up. And remember, we're not here to critique it or judge it or shame ourselves or feel guilty about anything. I just want you to recognize yourself. You don't have to have, a breakthrough year for this reflection to matter. Becoming is subtle, it's layered. Most of the time, it's quiet. Becoming is often invisible to the world until it isn't, right? And you just pop out brand new as her. This reflection is about acknowledging to yourself, you know what? Something definitely changed in me this year. Even if it was small, even if nobody saw it, even if nobody's clapping for me, even if you're still figuring out what that means, you deserve to witness that, okay? Sister, I am so proud of you for showing up today, for being honest with yourself, for giving yourself space to reflect without judgment, for letting your becoming unfold in its own timing. You moved through this year in the best way you knew how. Okay, give yourself some grace. And you are carrying wisdom, softness, and self-awareness into your next season, into 2026, whether you realize it or not. If this journaling session felt grounding, if it felt helpful, you can save it, come back to it before the year ends, come back to it anytime you want to reconnect to yourself. I wrote it in a way where you could revisit it at any time, maybe before your birthday, maybe before a new season. So you don't have to just reflect on it at year end. Make sure you follow the show so these Sunday coffee chats show up in your feed. And if this podcast has been a blessing to you this year, a quick rating or review helps more women find this space. Friend, happy Sunday. Move gently today. Treat yourself with kindness today. And honor the woman you've been becoming because she's been guiding you into everything that is next. 2026 is your year, girl. I'm Ashley Hope, and I will see you Tuesday for the next episode of Evolving Into Her. Until next time, stay in devotion to your becoming. I'm Ashley Hope, and you've been listening to Evolving Into Her. Thank you so much for being here with me. Thank you for choosing her, for choosing yourself. And until next time, stay in devotion to your becoming.